fine.
All right, welcome back to Launch Your Light. It is our monthly astrology and energy talk, one of my favorite times of the month. We are here with Inese. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Hello, thank you for having me again. One of my favorite conversations of the whole month is us talking energy, astrology, 100%. Like it doesn't matter how tired we are, and some
Yeah.
today we are a little bit, let's be honest.
Yep.
People are tired and we are tired. We are people. People
Yeah.
are tired and we are people.
We're
So
people, we're tired. I don't know if anyone else, Taurus season hit me like a ton of bricks. That's what I texted you earlier. I was like,
yeah.
hot damn, that shit sent me right back down to earth.
And
I
it's great. I
right? I
love
was riding that Aries energy like I don't know, like a
yeah.
fucking dragon. And now I'm just like sitting outside looking at the trees.
Yes. I am
I
so
don't want to
happy
do
for
anything.
yeah, I me neither, but I kind of like I really love Taurus energy. There's something so grounding, so lovely, just like the reminder to be in the body. I'm gonna read just a little part of what I wrote about Taurus season.
Please.
Just somehow, okay, just 1 second. Okay, let's read it from Instagram. I was prepared, but I was reading I want to read also for Aries. Okay,
We have great
for
things.
the Aries that Venus and Aries. Okay, for the Taurus season that happens until the 20th of May. So as the moon kisses the sun in the fertile embrace of Taurus, a portal opens, earthy, ancient, humming with the music of creation itself. This new moon is not one of rushing or reaching. It invites us into the body of the earth, the body of our being, the body of our dreams. Taurus, the keeper of sacred rhythms, reminds us what you plant now with presence and devotion will root itself in your life for seasons to come. The body becomes the altar, the senses become prayers, pleasure, stillness, simplicity. These are not luxuries, but essential portals to your power. So that's the part, like a little part of the Taurus transmission. I think is so beautiful. There's also also Beltane. Let's talk about it because there's a lot of it coincides with the in the northern hemisphere with Taurus season. Do you want to share a few words? Like I was learning more about it.
Yeah, sure. What part do you
Just
want?
about Beltane, like the meaning of it. So it's a midpoint between spring equinox and summer solstice, right? So festival of fertility, sacred union,
Yeah.
life force.
This is when our ancestors used to, I'm just gonna say it, they used to fuck in the fields. LOL.
Oh yeah, yeah, I learned that. Uh-huh.
Literally, like I'm not even joking, right? Think about it. We just made it through the winter. Who's alive? Who hasn't? Who did we have to like portion our food off for? Like, did we make it through the disease, the not having food, right? And then the sun comes back. And then we're getting
Go to the fields.
to get our fields ready. And our ancestors lived so closely to the ground. They knew their creative energy of union made life.
Yeah,
And they also knew that the earth had energy, right? They were living so close, geocentrically, closer
yeah,
to earth. And they knew these things. So they would put their seed and their egg and that lust, that life, that energy back into their fields.
that
And
is so beautiful.
also why we call it plowing, LOL.
Yeah, I love this.
Right? I
I
don't know
didn't.
who's listening right now, but they probably got to that's probably a new take on Beltane for them. But that's actually like that's the this energy point. This is why I love following the wheel of the year. It's not just summer,
Yeah,
fall, winter, spring. It's these cross quarter times in between that have some of
yeah,
the most magical power, witches call it the cross quarter days. They're also known as the fire festivals, right? So you
yes,
like Imbolc in between, Beltane in between, Lunasa in between, Samhain in between the big days. And
yeah,
they are powerful, baby. So this one has a lot of like life force, and
Yeah.
sweat. It's gorgeous. It's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah. It's like so what I'm learning a lot about this, but energetically I feel it. So it was a nice confirmation of everything I'm feeling, like all of what you're sharing. So union of masculine and feminine, fire, fertility, sensuality and sacred embodiment when the body becomes holy. And I love how this coincides in our hemisphere with the Venus ruled Taurus season, where themes are embodiment, pleasure, senses, body. I immediately got that connection. Like, I think that's really beautiful. And also, it's great for blossoming and manifestation. So, what seeded in equinox now begins to blossom. So, this is really powerful for magic, manifestation,
Mhm.
all of that.
And that's totally what I felt when I'm saying like it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm like, and also I have gate 5 activated in my chart very heavily for human design. And that is organic and divine rhythms. And it's in my Mercury. And this is what I'm here to share people. This is what I'm here to help people with. And it's funny because I'm like hearing that years later and working on that years after I've been like a druid for so long and helping people like, like I help people like organize their strategy for their business by the seasons. And like with these rhythms, it's like giving yourself the permission to then just feel that and be like, I don't want to overwork myself right now. That fire went out. I'm gonna like just be and
Yeah.
lounge in this beautiful energy that I have. And I look around, I'm like, my kids are outside all the time. No, we're outside anyway all the time. But now it's like 6, 7 hours outside. It's
Yeah.
just weather. They're in such joy, like backyard with their water toys. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like with the trees, everything's fucking green again. I'm looking at the bay. I've got an iced coffee in hands. I'm like, if this isn't why I'm doing this, then what the fuck am I doing? Like, if these moments right here aren't
Yeah.
why, right? I
Yeah.
create and sell and make and attract and be and do and invite and share and show up. What am I doing if it's for this? It's
Yeah.
for this freedom of like being in peace and being in my body and enjoying these moments in life,
Queen. Yes.
right? This is what
Yeah.
I'm looking for. So this season comes around, it's like, this is what I'm doing this for.
Yeah. I love that. I love everything you said. I definitely felt it as soon as I felt that kind of very soft, like earth energy. There's a lot of background Aries, and we will talk about it. There's another Saturn is going into Aries. So I do want to talk a little bit
Woo!
about Aries. And let's talk about it. But I love how the sun is in Aries, in a Taurus, and it is just grounding us in the midst of a lot of chaos in the world. And we had a power blackout in Spain and Portugal for like 12 hours where there was no
Wow.
electricity, no internet, no phones,
What?
nothing. Nothing at all. No water, nothing. Everything stopped, closed. No banking, no nothing.
I didn't
So
even.
so nothing happened. So that was like in here it was 12 hours. I think in Spain it depends on the places where it was. It was Portugal, Spain, France. So airport stopped. Like the Portugal was like for the 12 hours there was nothing, was like nothing. But there was also kind of like hear people just like talking and just I don't know. And there was another like I was looked after in the news. It's like in Portugal it was really chill. People were drinking beer and just chilling out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was people that were just thinking like sharing more fear and more fear. This is gonna be a week,
Yeah.
no electricity, and I was like, please let's not talk about it in the midst of crisis. Like, stop. I really dislike
Yep.
dislike. I am with those people. I did read the whole book that I've been reading for a while. I enjoyed it so much. My intuition said the light will come back. And it was a really intense day. By the end of it, I was panicking, but only because I listened to a certain someone that was sharing that this would go for a week. And I planned. So then I planned how would I walk to my son? 'Cause Anyway, so that's a little like kind of like what's like this is Neptune in Aries. This is also Uranus in Taurus. A little bit of like disruptions, electricity, these
Yeah.
kind of things are happening, but also the peace that came with the silence
Mm.
was there was yes, I felt the fear of the collective, a little bit of confusion, but then once I tuned into my own energy, it was bliss. There was moments in that day when not the phone, like you would open the phone and like it wouldn't even like there's nothing. Like you try to call someone, there's no like nothing. There's just
Ah,
silence, silence.
ah.
And that's like I've never experienced it since like I was, I don't know, in my teens.
Right.
Anyways, so this is the disruptive energy of you. So let's talk about Saturn entering into Aries because Neptune is in Aries. So Saturn enters into Aries like in the end of the month, but are starting to feel energy. And Venus entered, so Venus also entered from Pisces to Aries. So
Woo!
there it's still today. So that's going Venus. So she has been she's re-entering Aries because she's been doing this retrograde. She did. So now there's a new so moving out also of Pisces, which is this mystical, spiritual, soft, sensitive into like, phew, it was like the word from my post that I shared was undomesticated. I'm gonna share like a little tiny part.
Yeah, go for it.
Yes, yeah. I like the little tiny parts.
But the writing is so beautiful. If you're not following her on Instagram, get on it. Because your
Yeah,
posts are dope. They're just beautiful.
thank you so much. So this is just literally this the transit is happening as we speak now. So you this is gonna be for you. I don't know. Like I told you before we started, I don't know what time is. Sometimes I don't. Venus has re-entered Aries, the first fire, divine spark, the primal goddess of desire unbound. After her quiet renewal in Pisces, where she dissolved into the oceanic waters of soul and surrender, she now emerges as the warrior lover, wild with clarity and conviction. This transit is not soft, it's bold, it does not ask, it knows. Venus in Aries reclaims the sacred right to want, to initiate, to lead with heart, to love on her own terms, unashamed, unapologetic, and undomesticated is my favorite word in this whole thing. And this the other just one thing I wanted to share on. So old people pleasing patterns dissolve in the flame. What's left is raw, real, and radiant. This is a cosmic permission slip to own your longing, not as a wound, but as a compass. Let the passion, let the friction of your desire lead you home.
Mm.
This is you choosing you. In something no longer aligns, let her warrior blade sever it clean. And today
Woo! Woo!
Today was I cut the cords and did a ceremony with one of my longest karmic flames of
Oh,
this life and many lives. So I was like, it's time. And I
yeah.
did it. And it was intense and emotional. And it's done. It felt that fire is that's definitely coming through, like the clarity of the fire and all of that. So I think it's beautiful energy. So this just so Aries energy still is present underneath it all. And I think we have the softening of the Taurus. And
Yeah.
there's a still Saturn is in a last degree of Pisces. So Saturn is joining Neptune on 25th of May. So there's another so this point, like think about the 0 point. This is a beginning of the zodiac. This is cosmic reset. This is and Neptune together with Saturn, and they're going to be together for about a year, like in that cosmic reset. So there's a it's like entering into a new, completely new dimension. There's not a lot of maps, but there's a lot of trust. This is cardinal fire. This is energy that God, universe, and Gaia is calling all the sacred warriors, the soul-led leaders, the the beautiful, sensitive, gorgeous warriors and
Mm.
goddesses, and all of this energy to lead. to lead, because this is new. This is new ground. But this is like, so we are learning to adjust. We are still adjusting. That's why the tiredness, like we physically are still adjusting to the new frequency. Like it's grounding in. There's still like this gonna be, we're gonna feel this what's the word? Discombobulated.
Yeah.
If I said it right, I'm so proud of myself right
That's
now.
good.
Right? But we are settling into it. So when Saturn in 25th of, so Neptune, basically these are really interesting energies together. So Neptune dissolves and Saturn structures. So it's almost like them two working together. Saturn makes things real. Saturn's job on this dimension is making things real. So all of that energy, the fire coming with Neptune and spirituality, this is now being channeled into structure, which is great. And this is new, like a 0 point of cosmic 0 point reset of the whole thing. Do you want to
I don't even know
respond?
what to say to that, but I feel it. Like I
Yeah.
feel it. You know what I mean?
By the way, this is something I've heard so many times, and I do apply it also to myself at moments. There is also sometimes no words. There's like
Yeah.
we are getting new words. Like a lot of people are getting downloading new words for what the energies that we're feeling. A lot of the times we're like, oh yeah, I feel that, but I'm not sure I can really explain what I feel, because there's freedom, there's fire, there's fear, there's excitement, there's
Right.
there's some of fear, there's depending who you are and where you are, but there's also like this, like I said, like there's a new ground, like we are entering, like if this would be a movie, right, which is like whatever, like if this, like there's like we would enter a new portal, like a new dimension.
Mm.
So Saturn brings like this, so Saturn when joining in Neptune is like a fuses discipline with dreams, structure with surrender, form with formlessness, personal effort with spiritual longing or vision. So it's a really beautiful initiatory energy. Like we are, as a humanity is, we are re-initiated into our new upgraded forms or blueprints. That's how it comes through. Okay, these I'm finding words as I'm getting the energy. So this is really beautiful energy. It can also, Neptune in Aries can cause chaos. Aries is like, let's just burn this down. But so Saturn and Neptune, they're not so much about like burning things down, but still the fire, like the fire will there's some things will be burned down. It's just unavoidable with so much cardinal energy on the planet, like disruptions and power, like, and just, yeah.
I feel like for anyone who's really struggling right now, looking for questions, wondering what's next, this is probably it. A fraction of what they're feeling, why they're feeling what they're feeling is this is
Yeah.
territory.
Yes,
Like
and it's,
everything's being reorganized right now as
yeah.
it's settling. It's being like set up if it's so new. And I
Hmm.
think that can leave a lot of mystery, a lot of curiosity, a lot of confusion, a lot of like
Yes.
people wanting clarity, you know?
Yes. Clarity is not the thing that we get. It is still a lot about leaps and trust and surrender. So when Saturn will come into that Aries zero reset point, I feel there's gonna be I think we will feel the reality structure down a little bit more or a lot more, depends. Truth, bless you. When in Latvia, when someone sneezes, we say that's true.
Ooh.
I'm speaking the truth.
It's fun.
Um, so the key themes that we might be feeling across, and also what seeds as we plant as humanity in, like, let's say around that time, around 25th of May, the month of May, or into June, will this is a zero setting point. So what we initiate will continue for decades and a long time. So it's a really, these choice points become really active and important. Like, what are we choosing? Like, what are we really choosing consciously? Not getting lost in confusion and not getting lost in like fear and all of that. Which what are you choosing? There's this beautiful, and I talked about, I do feel that like this renewal energy. It's like renewal of spirit, renewal of releasing the old. So much Pisces gave support for us to release so incredibly, like, loads of karma. And now there's a lot of lightness, I feel, in human beings as well. Not everyone is the same, but for some this will resonate more or less.
Mhm.
Everyone's on their own timeline, but a lot of across the board there is a lot lighter energy. So okay, what do we choose now? So
Yeah.
there's a lot of that, like the sovereign energy of Aries asks you to take this responsibility. Do not look at your neighbor and your government. Take responsibility. What do you choose? Or look, or be with people and choose together.
Yeah.
I don't know. But Aries is a very individualistic, this cardinal, like leadership energy. So that's like, it just comes back like God is calling us.
Mm.
Just wake up, be a leader, lead. Whatever it means for you in your household, in your family, in your life. If you are by yourself, like if you are not by yourself, but I mean, if you don't if you don't belong, this is not the
A lot
right
of
thing.
people don't. I think a lot of
And
people.
I am one of them. Like, I
I am
don't
one of them too.
I am not a belonger, and I belong to certain like spaces and people.
Mm.
Like, we belong together across the world. Like,
Yeah.
so and you can choose, choose for you and for your frequency and who you are. And that's gonna create, have that responsibility of choosing what's right for the soul, choosing what's aligned with the soul is really powerful. And it doesn't have to be in like huge groups. It can be just you and the spirit, and you and your soul. That's also Aries, courage to walk, think for yourself, walk your own path, and then hopefully lead the way for others who maybe need guidance. Um,
Can I share a way that that's been coming up for me subtly? Not so subtly, but subtly.
yes.
Two is like everything that you're saying. I'm so feeling it. And you know where I'm feeling it? In my work, obviously, Capricorn, ride or die over here. But like, just really letting go of comparing myself to
Yes.
anyone. I'm just like over it. Like, I don't have the energy for it. And just like loving everyone for where they're at and what they're doing. And
Yes.
then really just focusing on the stuff that wants to come out of me, how dope my stuff is, the real intense shit I'm here to help with and guide through. Like, like we had our last
There
session.
you go.
I do the mentoring with stars with Inese, and it was just like, oh yeah, like I do this very uniquely. I do this. I've got some real specific stuff here to do. I'm doing it innately anyway. I
Yeah.
can't stop, won't stop. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just like aligning more clarity with it, understanding even more in my chart, my astrology
Yeah.
chart, my design chart, like how fucking unique it is. And just like letting that rip and being like, blessed be to everyone out there doing the same thing, doing the same thing, doing their own thing, doing the thing, like whatever it is, doing their thing. We're all on the same team, is what I feel like.
Exactly.
Like
I
we're
hear
all
you
on the same
completely.
team. And this is the army of light. Like, let's be fucking
Yes,
real. Like, like you gotta do what you gotta do. I gotta do what I gotta do. Like there's still so much paranoia. And there's a lot of people who aren't even starting because they feel like people are already doing what they do. And you like literally can't go wrong with how unique we all are on the planet and unique flavor. But what I mean by that is frequency. Like the unique frequency you bring here, the unique experience, the unique story.
the unique medicine and gifts by you being sometimes just who you are. Sometimes people think I have to do all these courses and stuff. No, you just have to get acquainted with your own medicine. Sometimes it will include a course, sometimes it will include a mentor, sometimes it will be you
Right.
reading some books and like being
Right.
with the spirit. It will be different. Do not. I think it's so powerful what you're saying, like to releasing the imposter syndrome and stop comparing yourself to others, because it drains a lot of energy. It's very draining, incredibly, to look at others. And when we tune out others, when we really value who we are, also when we fall in love with our frequency, with
Yeah.
our medicine, with who we are, sometimes not much is needed for us just to be us. If you, the people who have really tapped into that beautiful medicine of who they are, meaning just the energy of love of who they are, and then they're just being, living life, that's it. And it takes away the effort and suffering and selling your soul when you really return to yourself. And yeah, and stop like looking at others, and it's like there's no, we don't need to copy anyone, we don't need to follow. This is also Aries signature. Be courageous enough to choose you and trust that God has already equipped you with everything. And yes, mentors are needed. I think aligning yourself with people that can guide you is the best thing, but not sitting and comparing and being in fear. And you can have many types of mentors and all kinds of teachers. So just choose whatever your soul feels aligned the most. That's all Aries energy. The courage, like this sacred courage to love yourself, trust divine God. When I say God, by the way, people, it's not, it's God that is in every religion, in everything. The essence, it's like religions are all rivers to go to. The God is creator, spirit, love, all of that. When I say that, that's all the same thing, like just the energy that creates us and lives through us. That's when I say God. But I like the word God, but I don't mean Catholic church or something like that. I don't. Um, so yes. That's what I wanted to say. There's a little pause. The little pause came
I,
in after
I think,
that.
and like everything we're saying, like this Taurus season is so perfect for all these Aries transits because it's the embodiment of that.
Yes. Oh my God, how great is that? I loved it.
Right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like it's the be in it, like it, like let it drop in, let it settle
Yeah.
in. The other day, me and my husband do this thing on Sundays where we tag team watching the kids so the other person can go down into our steam room,
I saw this. Yeah, I saw
take
this
a
on your.
shower. And so many people responded to that on social media on my stories. And I was just like, and like I sat in there. Sometimes I just sit, I listen to music. Sometimes I cry. This time I tap. Sometimes I'll tap. Sometimes I
Yeah, yeah,
meditate.
yeah.
Sometimes I connect to my higher self. Sometimes I connect to the spirit of my business. Those are all things you can learn in my business school. And it's just like and we both like love it. It's like a date night, but for ourselves. It's like a date day, and it's always like it's
Love
usually
it.
during the day. It's like because we like to sit down there and we can see the sun come in through the sauna. We just have a portable sauna, y'all. You get these for like a few $100. It's fucking brilliant. Sitting in that fucking heat and just sweating. You know what I mean? And then going have it, and it's like, oh, that's our self-care Sundays. And I was like, I'm in a relationship that allows that, that invites that in, that makes time and space for that. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm loving this. Just keep telling me about it. Like one day I want a relationship like that allows this. Yeah.
and
Because
I
that,
always give people the reality, like, him and I have chosen a lifetime of growth. And then we've chosen a relationship and a partner of
Mhm.
growth who's going through growth. And so things are not always easy and not smooth because we are
Yeah.
constantly evolving and growing and then assimilating and then integrating and then we're new people. So we're getting to know these new, like as we're like
Yeah.
doing dope healing together, as we're growing, as we're soul aligned. Like it's not easy, but it's
Yeah.
fucking beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful when we have like things like that. Like that's our Sunday. Not go get drunk at the pub, not go fucking watch football on the couch for hours. And there's nothing wrong with any of those things, but it's just not us. So I don't have to feel bad about saying that. It's not us.
No,
What is
it's
us? We talk about our supplements and our workouts going into the week, like and our saunas that we get to have, and having a family ride and a family walk, and that's it. Like that's what I feel like. This is that Taurus energy. I'm like, it's so simple, but
yeah.
it's so profound.
Yes, that's exactly the simple but profound. Like it's finding divine in the simple rituals, in the tea, in the candle, in the meal, like eating, touch, like pleasure, like sauna, sweat,
Yeah.
cuddle, being with your children, like feeling the skin, like appreciating the body, like we get to be alive, like we, and hopefully, like we don't like hopefully don't we are healthy and things are well, and I think that's a huge blessing. And some, like, I think Taurus season is a reminder of like how incredibly beautiful it is. Yes, things are falling apart, they're supposed to fall apart in that bigger, but instead of always focusing us what's going wrong, what about we focus on how blessed we are?
Yeah.
Like, what if the humanity just took time to focus a lot, because our minds are creating our realities constantly. So if we're being fed fear and then we channel fear further and spread fear, that's the frequency on a planet. If we tune into love, in mostly in our own, like through us, and then share love and then spread love and connect that frequency, we will live in peace, more abundance, more wealth, more happiness being here. So remember that every single little thing you choose to do affects everyone else all the time.
Mhm.
And this becomes more and more important, because like the way you feel, even the way you feel and what you think affects, the ripple effect goes out. So when you're great, like think about it, if you're taking care of yourself and you're in gratitude, and not all the time, obviously sometimes we can be angry and pissed off, and that's okay, that just feel all the feelings of being human. That's also an honor, and to be human. And some we forget, like we forget everything, like a lot of it. Sometimes it's good to remember like how blessed we are to be on this planet, because a lot of the people at this time doesn't want to be here, no longer want to be here, because it's so hard and
Yeah.
so frightening and so confusing and so heavy for them. So I think sitting here and talking about how blessed we are might feel like, oh, we are not forgetting, but there's another thing. We cannot get as sick as the sick person to help them. We have
Right.
to get well and strong in order to help others. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it's
actually,
not like I'm being egotistical, like in ignoring the
like
pain in the
light
world. It's
washing.
the
Yeah,
opposite.
yeah.
No, I'm
Right.
not. I
Exactly.
am fully feeling the pain every day. I
Right.
am just choosing the
Yes.
light, the frequent, and it's not easy. I cry a lot. I cry I cleanse, like this, like the grid workers, you know this,
Yeah.
right? We clear, like we are planted wherever we're supposed to be for that time. So I clear a lot of energy, but it doesn't mean that I am like ignorant and I just in my own world. No, I'm very much in the world,
Yes.
but I choose. So that choice is powerful. That's what I want people to understand. It's incredibly powerful when you understand, but you don't get washed away in the tragedy and the pain and with wanting to help, but not to, and then you just disappear in that. To that, like taking back your sovereignty and that purity and like connection to God, it's I'm not sure. It's coming through really strong today.
Okay, so this is what I
I
call,
feel like inspired by like this channel, like what's happening. Okay, I'm gonna pause again because it's a lot. I'm processing what I'm saying because I am just here. Like when I start speaking, I didn't write this. Like I always say,
yeah.
this is spirit speaking to whoever needs to hear. But it's helping me to understand things. This is the first time I say things like this. This is new for me too. So yeah.
This is what I call the sacred witness. And it's an archetype that not everyone can handle on the planet. It's absolutely
Yeah.
something that most people, the majority of people, cannot handle.
No.
It sounds simple, it is not. The sacred witness is a soul that's here to literally observe and let it like break their heart open and
Yeah.
break their body open and crack
Over and over again.
into the soul
Yeah.
over and over. And what we're doing is we're alchemizing
Yes.
what we're seeing through our eyes, through the third eye, through our
Feeling
two
it,
eyes,
hearing it. Yeah.
fucking feeling it, and then
Feeling it. Hearing.
alchemizing it in the body and
Yeah.
transmitting something else out.
Yes.
This is some shit. And like, it is not for everyone, and people can't do it. A lot of us here are here to do that. And most of us, I would say, like a lot of earth angels are here to do that, to be
Yes.
a sacred witness.
Getting so full body chills because it feels so healing just to speak about this work, because some people, I think, like the light workers and heal, like just earth angels and grid holders and like all, like however you want to call, a lot of us sometimes to some point we do this, like we are guided to do this. We don't know what even is this. When we I was like we were smaller, at some point we, now I'm feeling it more and more. I have vocabulary for it, and that, and I'm talking to you about it, which creates a more grounding for me, because there's like a lot of the people, we people like me never true, it takes a lot years. There's a lot of like, this is another thing, if you star seeds and light workers are listening, with the imprints from like another star system, some of you might never feel truly grounded, and that's okay. There is like, because we are holding different types of, we some like, and this is another maybe deeper conversation for specifically star seeds. We can do a workshop.
Yes. We
And
this
star
needs
seeds, this is another for our
write another
seeds,
one. Write another one
because
first.
this will be not for everyone, because I don't
No,
want to confuse people like you might never feel ground. No, this is not that, but
no.
this is for a specific group of people. So we will put a pin in it and we will come back to this, because I don't want to kind of tangent so much too much on it. Okay.
Another practical way is I study from Ra on with the human design, and he said that with how many people have a undefined head center or an
Mhm.
open head center, so no active gates or active gates depending on undefined open, just means uncolored if
Yeah.
you look at your chart. And also the ajna, right?
Yeah.
Those areas are open for 70% of the human population. And he said what this means is there's a lot of people on the planet thinking about shit they shouldn't be, that they don't need to be. And they're processing and wasting a lot of their mental energy and power and their channel that's open there to think about and focus on stuff they don't need to.
It's
And when
just like floating. I see like just floating stuff floating in, just random. I know. Yeah.
and
That's,
I'm like, that was so powerful for me to hear in the work I do, helping people with soul purpose, bringing ideas down through the pipe. I'm like, no wonder why people get stuck right there at the gate at the fucking beginning. Right.
yeah.
And it's like, or we're just focusing on stuff we don't like, and that's all of that is actually power. It's energy. For those of us who can focus that on the task at hand, on the thing that's needed on the planet, that's a power play. That's a power move.
Yes, and it's I am so grateful to, I don't know, even to feel it, and for the people to connect to people like that, because I don't know, there's something different to talking about someone who are grounded in their vision, in the like not talking inspired by human design, but I'm trying to express myself now, but I can't. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just know what, who we are, why we are here, even though we've been through trials and tribulations. So that's what I'm trying to say. I love connecting with people who know who they are, what they are here to do, and there's not many of them haven't been around me, so I'm calling in more.
Yes, I agree with that. Who
I
feels
want more.
I'm like more friends, more connections, more
Yeah,
people. I like the more I grow on this path, the more I realize how different I am from others
yeah,
and a lot of where I go. And it's
yeah,
kind of it's pretty lonely and isolating, but it's okay. I chose it. I like that. I'm a 5-1 Capricorn. Like I'm fucking good. You know what I mean? Like I'm good. I've got my people. I know where they are. I've built a business around gathering these people.
yeah.
I have that, which is amazing. But it's like, in a lot of spaces and places, I'm like, oh, that's right. I live very different than the status quo.
Oh, yes, same. And we are similar in that way. Like we have some differences in the way we are as human, like in our structure of life, but in that, in the frequency sense and who we are, I think we're very similar. That feeling of belonging but not belonging,
Yeah.
being from the earth, but not of the earth. Like that's definitely that. But I am talking, but speaking of that, like there was a time where, let's say now, I think the people of light and like these tapped in people like us, like light workers, star seeds, earth seeds, all of us, there's more connection coming through. I can feel it. I can feel the old connections have dissolved.
Yeah.
They have been blocked off. Now I'm really open to new, and I feel like it's really possible. Whereas in past there was a lot of mixed energies. I wasn't clear,
Yes.
wasn't sure. Maybe I wasn't sure who I am fully. Now that I am, and I'm like really tapped in and clear of also what type of people I loved around. I really, yeah, want to create bigger communities, and I think that's coming in as well
Mhm.
with the Aries energy, just choosing our people and connecting with our people. And I'm putting this intention for all the us across the planet. Let's connect. Not only who is listening to this podcast, but just I'm speaking it out loud to people.
Another,
Soul tribe, to your soul tribe,
yes.
come together. That's my
Also,
intention.
I love to teach people this too. I think I've said it on a previous podcast.
Yeah.
There is a lot of people focus on the conscious collective, and that's like or let's just say the collective. Almost 8 billion people. A lot of people are stuck in that. They're tapped in. They're plugged in to that
Mhm.
around the globe, like that grid. Imagine how busy. Like we know how busy. There
Yeah.
for any of us that are conscious creators, light workers, whatever the fuck we are called these days, those of us, we have our own grid. And you
Yeah.
can unplug from the 8 billion and plug into that one. For
Yeah.
me, that other one seems really staticky, really
Mhm.
intense, a lot of friction. The minute I unplug out of that and plug into ours, it feels like a omnipresent blue light. And it's
And
just, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like a
I know
real,
exactly what you mean. Like I lived there most of the time. Like, and
yeah,
I was like,
that,
I
like,
want to live here. This is great. I create. I am
exactly.
myself. I can be myself in that.
And there's a lot less. There's not, I don't even feel like there's a billion. Like it's a lot,
No,
maybe 500 million. And the number doesn't matter. I'm trying to give a
yeah,
measurement to people to see like the difference in how many bodies, any energetic bodies on the planet right now are actively pursuing that. Plug into that.
yeah,
Anyone who's hearing this, like, plug out of the other one and plug it. And you go back and forth. Some comes
yes,
up on the news station, some comes up on your phone. Boom, you're plugged back into the other one. It's like gonna happen subconsciously, unconsciously. You know what I mean? But actively being like, oh, wait, where are my people? Plug into it. Plug in to
yeah.
this amazing grid that circles the planet energetically, right?
And that's being more and more active and more vibrant and more inviting and more easily accessible as well. The clearer you are in your frequency, meaning the less you poison yourself with information, food, and other people's poison or energy energetically, the more easily you'll just like float up in a way. You're like the more you release the past and the heal and the wounds and the karma, you just naturally flow up. So that's the work. Like that's the work. That's
Another another thing that will go back to what you were saying earlier, and we can wrap up after this too, because I feel
yeah.
like I don't
I
know how
think we're
it's on, but like damn, that went by fast. Um, when you were talking about the caring for thyself and how we can't get sick to help sick people, right? Like we can't go down into the
enough going
ditch
to
and get
help.
stuck in the ditch to help people out of the fucking ditch. Right.
Yeah,
So, and I 100% agree with you. And what I've liked to learn about money wise on this is the good householder archetype, that energy that most religions, spiritualities around the world do have some sort of this like householder understanding, meaning you cannot help anyone unless you are completely cared for thyself,
yeah,
right? Unless you have the shelter and food, and more than that, but like the shelter and food you need, you can't help anyone else but yourself in that moment. If
yeah,
you and your family are not adequately fed, you're not going to be able to feed others. And we need
yeah,
to think about that on money too, because a lot of people are like, oh, money isn't spiritual. It's like actually
yeah,
making a lot of money and doing your purpose work is like the most spiritual fucking shit you can do, actually, right? Because that
yes,
energy is that could help. The more you can care, you are cared for thyself, the easier it is, the more stabilized you are to turn around and say, now let's start this. Let's
Yeah.
open up this. Let's help this. Let's do this. Let's make that. You can't do that. You can't help lots of people if you are constantly needing help yourself.
I think this is so incredibly powerful. I think we need series of these talks, and let's keep it talking, like whether it like aligns or Taurus, by the way, is about money, about legacy and wealth. Having wealth, creating wealth, being custodian is one of the most powerful spiritual things on the planet. Why we are conditioned the other way? Sit and think about it. Why we are in so much fear, why we are conditioned to be feared of having fear of money. Think about it, and then think about it's such a deep programming thing, like, and I'm just getting at the depth of it, but how sense also the power and freedom of having money when you release all the false ideas and the false programs around what it means. Because if someone is wealthy, and you can think about you, like what it just feels like freedom, and you can provide resources, you can share wealth, you can share freedom, you can share all of those beautiful things.
And
So I
women
think as a humanity, sorry.
and women do great things with money. So we need more
Yes.
money in the hands of women. We put it back into the fucking communities. We give it back to people. We know where to put it. We know what to do with it. We're very resourceful with it. But we're coming out of 3,000-4,000 years of not being able to have access to it. That's some shit right there.
Yeah. And
Right?
that's another powerful conversation. Go on.
Oh my God, we just need to, I don't know what
Like
we need.
this is like this Aries energy will bring out, this is an in Venus in Aries is bringing up the spiritual, like feminine, like power as well, like the feminine. There's a feminine rage, there's feminine power, there's feminine, like all of these things are coming up because we're finally breaking free. There's been so much suffocating that part of it is going to be rage, and allow yourself to be rageful sometimes if that's what comes through. Do not judge. I think we're weaving so many subjects, but they're also important, like the wealth and money, and also women with money. Like those are like almost separate conversations. Okay.
It's very, I think it's so perfect, Taurus and Aries, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this whole
But
conversation.
all, and weaving together with the Aries energy of leadership, of owning it. That's Aries. Like that's like, let's take charge. Like of the money, of like the wealth of my people. That's leadership. And Taurus is like, let's make money, let's make legacy, let's feed all the people, let's feed my community. That's Taurus. So these are really important themes we can think about, and plant the seeds. Let's plant the seeds, like in our heads, like write it out, like daydream, like vision board, like whatever, and then action.
You know what's crazy?
Action.
Is this
Mm.
our 12th call?
I don't know.
Yeah, because we started in June. It's May.
Really?
This was our
Oh,
12th. We finished a whole cycle.
oh, let's celebrate. Let's celebrate with the whoop whoop.
Hold on, I'm gonna move this over and look at it real quick. I think this is our 12th.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell them how they can find you and what you got cooking right now?
Yeah, at the moment, you can find everything on my website, which is inesesonchik.com. Like Jamie will have it in the notes as well. So my name.com. Same on Instagram. You can read my posts, get to know me a little bit more. I do private sessions. I do a lot of my client. I have monthly container, which is about transformation and what also abundance, or tapping into who you really are. And yeah, all of it. Just connecting to yourself.
Perfect. I'll put your links in. And yes, this is our 12th session. We
Yes,
completed a year of these. Talk about a seed
feels like a
and
completion. Yeah,
a
but
long
not.
time ago. How long did we talk about this? And we did this in each other's Facebook groups when Facebook Lives were a big thing. Remember?
Yeah.
We did
Yes.
this in each other's groups for years, randomly.
Yeah. Randomly.
Then it was like around the big high holy days, right? The equinoxes and
Yeah. Yes. Yes. We just kind of, yeah. Yeah. We were sensing the potency and power of our like joint channel has a special potent frequency. And I think we both know that would serve others and and us, in a healing way, an expansive way. So I'm happy we're doing this. I hope we keep doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I've got ideas and I want to talk to you about them. So we need to end
Okay.
the call.
Let's end this call and tell what's happening with you.
Oh
What
my
are you
God, what
doing?
the fuck am I up to? I am up
You
to
are doing like 200 things. Like, so anything, anyone who ever needs help with anything, like from an idea to like a business, like like any milestone from the initiation of an idea to business, go to Jamie. Like, that's what I would say. Okay, go.
No, that you just said it. That's perfect.
That's what, yeah, you have everything. You just guide people to like like you have all the levels, all the things. I don't
That's
even,
that's why I let myself when I just need to sit the fuck outside and look at some trees.
yes, because you've
I don't
done.
make myself
It's
feel
like
bad about
built.
it. I know. I'm just like because when I'm on, I'm on. And when I
Yeah,
have to just be, I don't feel bad about it anymore. So I'm
no,
giving everyone that invitation to
yeah,
do.
and it's so sacred. I think it's so sacred, and when we recognize it and allow it, like how beautiful is that? Then we will live with God. It's just like relax. When it's like spirit is like relax. It's Taurus season. We relax.
Yeah.
Then we live
Right.
with God. Okay. Thank you, everyone. See you. See you somewhere.
Somewhere in the world. Hope you
See you
have
somewhere.
this
Say
episode. This
hello.
is
Come
Taurus.
say hello.
Say hello. Come into our groups. We have great groups.
You have
Have a
amazing
great
group.
time together. All right. See you all
Okay.
next month.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.